I said the same thing. I said, hey, I know I feel like I got a shot at 5 million too. And then Brett was kind of like, hey, I feel like this is my moment. I think I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Let's just see how high it goes up to. So
Some people pursue challenges, others step into moments that reveal who they truly are. Today's guest is someone many people recently discovered through one of the most intense competitions ever broadcasted online. Known to many as Player 191 from Beast Games, Cory Sims stepped into a high pressure arena where hundreds of contestants competed for life changing stakes. Throughout the competition, he stood out not only for his determination, but for his composure, his faith, and the quiet resilience that carried him through every challenge. Cory is a husband, a father, and a man of faith whose journey has been shaped by perseverance, discipline, and a mindset that refuses to quit when the pressure rises. Beyond the competition itself, he has also used his voice in a unique way, becoming one of the first authors to openly talk about his experience during the games, offering a perspective that goes beyond what viewers saw on the screen. Today, we are going beyond the screen. We are talking about the person behind the experience, the mindset behind the resilience, and the lessons that come from navigating moments where everything is on the line. Welcome to Become the Victor, where we don't just talk about what someone went through, we talk about who they became because of it. Please welcome Cory Sims.
thank you so much, Victor. It's an honor and a blessing. I'm so grateful to be on your show. Thank you.
Hey, it's the honor is all mine, man. You're an incredible guy.
I think the same way about you, honestly.
I appreciate you, brother. So for anyone who is first discovering you, and what is your story?
Absolutely. So I grew up Buffalo, New York area, raised. I was born in California, grew up Buffalo, New York area. Obviously, you know about the winters, horrible. That's why I moved out of there, got out of there, joined the Navy after I went to 2 years of college, got an associate's degree, and went to the Navy. I was in the Navy for about 8 years, 8 months, 16 days. It was a great experience. Learned a lot. Learned a lot about myself. Learned about a lot about discipline, focus, just determination, motivation, everything that goes into training our military. It's amazing. And then I got out of the military. I got married. Had three amazing boys that I love so much. They're my pride and joy. And then I had this crazy idea, watching season one of Beast Games, and then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna apply for season two and see what happens.
That is so cool. So you graduated school and then you pursued college, receiving your bachelor's, right?
Yeah, so I before I went in the Navy, I got my associate's degree, and then
Associate.
while I was in the military, I got my bachelor's degree, and then when I got out of the military, I took full advantage of the GI Bill, and then ended up getting two master's degrees after that.
Wow. What made you want to join the military? Was it to serve the country or?
Absolutely. So I always believe in, giving back and serving a bigger cause than ourselves, and I just wanted to give back and actually go fight and defend this amazing country that I love so much.
Wow, that is incredible, brother. Again, thank you for your service. It's incredible.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
When you joined the Navy, what was that experience like?
Absolutely. So I got to see the world. It was a great experience. It taught me a lot about self-discipline and stuff like that. So it was great in that aspect. I did serve one tour in Iraq in 2008 with the Riverine Squadron, small tactical boat units on the waterways of Iraq. It was a great experience, but at the same time, it was one of those experiences that was very stressful. Every day you went out on a mission, you had no idea if that was going to be your last day or not. And by the grace of God, He protected me the entire time I was over there. And honestly, my faith built even stronger going through that whole experience just because of it.
Your faith, I seen your show, the show on Beast Games and your character in Beast Games. You are very deeply rooted in faith. Where does all of that come from?
Absolutely. So, my parents, I love them to death. They're just great parents. They raised me very well. They taught me about good morals, good values, about character. And they used to take me to church and Sunday school and stuff like that. So it was actually one of those things that they started at a young age. And then as I kept getting older and older and going through, trials, tribulations, you start to realize there's nothing you can do without God. He's always the most important thing in your life. So now all I do is just seek Him and try to shine His light for the world.
Yeah, it's beautifully said. So So true. When you're going through trials and tribulations, sometimes many of us will pull away from God because of
Hmm.
the circumstances and things that, we often go through. But to develop a stronger connection to God because of those trials and tribulations, it takes, in my opinion, some type of profound faith to really stick closer to God rather than pull away from Him.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It takes a great deal of faith. And, sometimes, we all have those moments where it's kind of like you wonder, why that happened. You kind of question things and stuff like that. But I've learned, honestly, that every time that something happens that doesn't go the way that I wanted it to go, it's a blessing in disguise because there's so many greater things that God has planned for us. It's just truly amazing.
Yeah. It's incredible on the way faith can really shape a person's character and devotion, and especially where they're headed. It's there's some kind of, again, like a profound faith that takes shape and form behind the scenes. For you navigating this journey, like you said, being in the military, you probably seen certain things and, even gone through things behind the scenes within your own personal journey. When you navigated these different trials and tribulations within your season, what really helps you stay grounded where, you do have this devotion that there is a higher power, there is a higher being?
Absolutely. So I try to stay grounded by honestly, I pray in the morning before I start my day. I do the same thing at night. I pray at night before I go to sleep. I usually read the Bible every single morning. Just try to, meditate on the word, try to get that word inside me before the day starts, because once the day starts, you have no idea what's going to come at you. Could be anything and everything. And as long as I have that foundation right in the beginning of the day, honestly, it just helps me carry everything that I got to carry through the day.
Yeah. Was there ever anything that happened within like your upbringing? But now I want to talk about your strength now. Was there anything within your upbringing where it kind of helped you develop this sense of resiliency? Did it come from the military? Like, where does your resilience come from? Because, to, join the military, it takes a whole nother kind of different mindset, in addition to developing that resiliency. Like, where does that resilience come from?
I think it was something that my parents kind of taught me as I grew up and stuff like that, just to, go through all the trials, tribulations, just with that mindset that, you're going to have troubles. You're going to go through the challenges of life, but you just got to keep being strong, keep being mentally strong, keep relying on your faith, most important of all. And yeah, I think that just going through a lot of different things, it just helped me to really build that strong foundation in faith.
Was there ever like a particular moment that it kind of shifted your mindset to where, this, it's either I can keep doing what I'm doing, or was there ever like a mental shift where you were like, okay, I need to do something about this. I need to, how can I overcome this? Was there ever like a pivotal moment for you that kind of takes shape within your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a very pivotal moment in my life was when I was 13 years old. I was bullied in school, really bad, to a point where I haven't really told much people about this. I'm telling you because I feel like I can open up with you. But I almost took my own life when I was 13 years old. And it was truly only the grace of God that stopped me from doing it. I felt like He was in the room with me when I was going through it all. And honestly, He stopped me from doing it. And I owe everything to Him. That's why I'm so grateful for every day that I live, just because it might not have turned out that way, the way that it did. So I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that he saved me. I mean, he saved me when I was on the floor in the weakest moment, crying, and one of those moments where that's why bullying is just one of those things that I don't stand for at all. I will always be against bullying. I'll always speak up against it, and it's just one of those things.
I appreciate you for sharing that with not just me, but with the audience as well.
Absolutely,
Bullying can definitely push someone to the edge, and you never really know what someone's going through behind the scenes. And your words and actions and influence really can alter a person's not only mental state, but one's actions, When you were
absolutely.
going through that process, or I don't want to say that process, but when you were navigating that season and you were going through what you were going through at such a young age at 13, and you said you were just you were broken in a way. and you were just on the
Absolutely.
floor and emotional and so vulnerable. What, like, where did you just begin saying, like, God, if you're real kind of thing, can you help me get through this? Or can you please, like, was there some form of a sign where you're like, you felt saved or liberated from such pain?
Yeah. So honestly, it just felt like one of those things where I was about to go through that, and it just really felt like God was in that moment, and He was stopping me and preventing me from actually doing what I was about to do. So it was just one of those moments where I'm always going to be grateful for what He did for me.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. And again, thank you for sharing that. And for what it's worth, I'm really glad that you're still here. And you're
Absolutely.
you're an extraordinary man. Like, and I don't say that lightly. I really do mean that from just what I've seen online from you. And also our conversation that we had
I
with our
appreciate it. Thank you.
messages. You're an extraordinary guy. But when now, going into high school was when you were navigating high school, did the bullying continue? Did it stop? Was there ever just like something that maybe you did where you kind of got a sense of fresh air where, that kind of halted or stopped for a little bit? Or did it continue until after you graduated?
No, so it was more like so it happened when I was in eighth grade. And then going into high school, obviously, it didn't happen or anything like that. But obviously it was one of those moments that I still remember to this day. And it's just one of those tough moments that I got through, and it was only by the grace of God that I got through that moment.
Wow. Yeah, to develop that to be saved at such a time like that. Like there was a life experience of mine where I was under psychiatric hold, and Jesus literally saved my life. And it's not like a religious thing, but there was some form of a profound transformation that took place that's even till this words I cannot put into words. But
Absolutely.
it really is incredible. When I hear others' testimonies like yours, when you graduated high school and then you pursued college, getting your associates and your bachelor's, and then you joined the military. When you were in the military, what is an experience where for anyone listening who maybe has a similar story as yours, maybe they got bullied or maybe they felt no one understands them, and they're thinking about joining the military for their own reasons, or maybe they want to serve such as yourself, what advice would you have for them before enlisting?
Um, I would just say that, make sure it's something that you really want to do. Make sure it's something that you just feel pressured into doing. It just has to be something that comes from your heart. Going and trying to defend our amazing country, it's not something that you should take lightly, not something you should make a decision right away. You should really contemplate it. Honestly, go to prayer, seek the Lord's guidance, his wisdom. If that's what he has for your life, then absolutely follow his guidance in everything you do.
Is there one profound lesson that you gained from being in the military?
I would say discipline. I think that's an important factor that really shaped my life. I was kind of always, had a little bit of discipline growing up, but when you're in the military, it's like it really like times 1,000
Yeah.
really increases.
Wow. And so then you were in the military, you got married, met an incredible, beautiful wife, had family of your own, a
Thank
beautiful
you.
family, three boys. What was that era or that transition like, entering, being a military man, a man of faith, to now being a husband and a father?
Absolutely. It was honestly marrying my beautiful Peruvian wife was just such a blessing. She's such an amazing woman. She's a strong woman. She's a godly woman. She really has my heart. She's just amazing in every single way. She's like, right now, she's my right hand man because everything like I do, she's coordinating for me. She's like, hey, babe, don't forget about this. Hey, don't forget about that. Like, it's like, because like for me, I'm like going 1,000 miles an hour just trying to figure everything out right now because everything's going so fast. But she's keeping me grounded and she's keeping me on track. So it's amazing. And yeah, having my three boys, oh man, it was the blessing that I couldn't even describe and put into words. It's just one of those things where once you become a father, it truly is the best blessing that God could ever bless us with. It's just something so truly amazing. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity just to have kids to try to influence them and provide a good example for them. It kind of goes hand in hand with why I have the integrity that I have. Obviously, number one, because I'm a strong believer in God. He's watching everything that we're doing, but also I want to be a good example for my kids. That's paramount for me. I want to be an example that they look up to, that they aspire to be someday. I want them to be honest. I want them to have good character. I want them to have good integrity and just be overall good people and genuinely nice to people, caring, generous. Yeah, that's what I'm striving for right now.
Yeah, well, you're doing an amazing job because you truly are leading by example,
I appreciate it.
and I mean that genuinely. When
Thank you.
what is something you hope, like if your wife ends up watching this later, what is something you hope your wife can always remember about you?
I hope that she remembers my good integrity and my love for Jesus. I think those are my two most important things in my life. Is just always doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching, and just always having faith in Jesus, trusting His timing, trusting everything that happens. He's working behind the scenes, making it so much better that we don't even know, we don't even understand, we don't comprehend in the moment, but it just blossoms into something so amazing.
Yeah, beautiful. What is something you want your son to always carry within them that you instilled for them?
I just want all three of my kids to know that I truly love them from the bottom of my heart, unconditionally, every single one of them equally, and they just truly are my purpose, my life. They're just everything to me. Making them into young little gentlemen is just it's truly remarkable watching them grow up. It truly is. So I'm just want to tell them I'm proud of them, that I love them so much, and I know that you guys are going to do great things for yourselves, for all the people of this world. I know you're going to have an amazing impact on this world.
I love it. I love it. And like I said, you're doing a phenomenal job. I don't know you too much personally, but from again how our conversations and our interactions we've had, you really are doing a great job leading by example.
I
And
appreciate it.
and
Thank you.
and I mean that genuinely. Well, I'm really curious, like now I'm really curious about your book journey. And or let's talk about Beast Games really quick before we get into that. We're now navigating. So you went into the military. You ended up getting your associates and your bachelor's. You had a wife, kids, and then you ended up having this wild thought, this crazy thought to join Beast Games. What was like that experience like? Did you really think you would become a contestant? Like, what was going through your mind during your application?
Absolutely. So that's a great story in itself. I didn't even know who Mr. Beast was prior to Beast Game season one. Every time I say that, people kind of have like the wide eyes, like what? Like the biggest YouTuber in the world.
Yeah,
But it's just one of those things. Like I really don't watch much TV. I really don't have time for TV. I watch a movie with my kids and my wife every once in a while, but just TV in general, I don't have time for it, to be honest with you.
yeah.
And but one night I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working and stuff like that. My kids are in the living room watching something, and then all of a sudden I hear this loud, energetic voice screaming in the TV. I'm just like obviously my ears perk up. I'm like, wait a minute, because me and my wife are very careful about what our kids watch, just because there's so many subliminal messages and
Of course.
everything nowadays. It's crazy. So of course, I walk in the next room. I say, hey boys, what are you guys watching? Oh, Daddy just came on after our other show. And as soon as I turned to look at the TV, it was just this massive towers, 1,000 people in these blue uniforms, jerseys, and I was like, what is this? So next thing I know, I'm sitting on the couch watching it with my three boys. My wife comes in, she starts watching it, and then every single week from then on, we're watching this show like just to see what happened. It's kind of like one of those things where it's a great social experiment. It's kind of like it gives you a mirror image of the world, so to speak. Everybody in the world can do the right thing, be a hero, don't stab people in their back, be honest. But then on the other flip side, obviously, the people also have a choice to be a villain, be dishonest, lie to people, and do all the bad stuff. So it's kind of one of those things where it puts everything all in the same world, and it's kind of like a mirror image of the world. Kind of, you see it like play out. And what you think when you put your trust in people in the game show, they can say all they want and stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm only going to do this. I'm not going to do that. But when it comes down to it, when the money gets in their face, it's like something just happens.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, greed is a real thing, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I'm actually glad you brought that up. When you were now, so you watched the show, you've seen the show, you found so much interest in it, and you're like, you had this thought to put in this application for Beast Games, right? Like, did you tell your family you were going to do this, or did you just do it? Like, what was that like experience or that moment like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So after the first season, I just started training, going to the gym all the time, swimming, lifting weights, and stuff like that. I kept telling my boys over and over. I said, "Hey, I'm going to Beast Games. Daddy's going to go to Beast Games." And I just kept just speaking it to life. Life and death is the power of the tongue. So I just kept
Yeah.
bringing it to life, and it's crazy because I did like the minute video and submitted my application. And at the same time, I'm doing all that stuff. There's also another way to get into the competition with the Feastables sweepstakes, where basically you eat a whole bunch of chocolate, scan the QR codes, you get entries into this major sweepstakes, and they pick out winners and stuff like that. So first week, me and my boys started eating a lot of chocolate. Obviously, I'm getting gaining weight like crazy, and then I go and find a loophole in the fine print where it says just go online, you register, and that counts for 24 votes each time you register. So then you just submit your entries at the end of the week. And it was crazy. So I submitted my application, do the normal route. I got the email like 2 hours and 30 some minutes later saying, "Hey, congratulations. We want you to move you to the next step in the application process." I immediately got on my knees. Thank the Lord. I was like so grateful. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then 2 days after that, I get an email from Feastables. Congratulations, you've been selected as a Feastables winner. So I made it through both both avenues, and it was just
That's
at
so
that
cool.
point I knew it was God's divine power that I was going to be on Beast Games, and He wanted me to be on Beast Games, and everything went according to His plan. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful for it.
That is so, so cool. Dude, that is amazing to literally go from like not knowing who he is to then like being on his like show. Like, dude, that's so freaking that's so freaking cool.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
Now, when you got selected and you were like going through, like you talked about the process in your book, in the beginning of your book, and you talked about what that journey was like, and you felt like a secret agent. I think you said you were,
Yeah.
you know, how it felt like when you were going through that moment. Like, was there ever a moment where you're like, man, is this real? Like this is actually happening.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that just feels like surreal at first. It feels like a dream, like especially like when you're getting off the plane in Vegas and you're walking, you're trying to find some secret sign that says summer camp, and it was just one of those things like, is this all real? It's kind of one of those things, and even when you walk onto some of these sets, these massive sets that they build just for each challenge, it's just like, wow, I can't believe I'm here right now. This feels like a dream. This is just truly once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah. That is so, so cool, dude. And I love too how in your book you highlighted is in your book you mentioned that a lot of like although you're going on to the show, right, and the competition begins essentially when the camera goes on, you're like, as soon as you step into that room, the game is on. You're focusing on body language, who's shy, who's timid, who's social. Like you went in so much detail within your book where it gave me a whole alternative perspective with not only your mindset, you know, because you have to have a unique, you have to have a certain kind of developed mindset to even have that mentality, right? Or that mental skill set, but to even be able to have that sense of awareness, like, hey, you know, the game's actually on as soon as I step through those doors.
Absolutely. So it was one of those things where it was even before like I got into the actual hotel where we were staying and stuff like that. It was basically at the airport. Once I saw like the summer camp sign, they kind of line us up. They don't let anybody talk to each other because they're trying to get all those relationships to kind of be revealed kind of in front of the camera, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And they also didn't want people knowing about Beast Games being filmed there, so they're trying to keep everything tight-lipped and secret. So I was immediately just watching each person, just trying to look around, see because you could tell a lot by somebody's body language. You know, is somebody standing up straight? Is somebody, just calm and just talking to people, especially like the staff of Beast Games. You know, are they talking to them like with confidence in their face, with confidence in their voice, the way that their posture is. It's like you're kind of watching all those stuff. That way you can kind of see, okay, that person's been under pressure. You can tell he's been under pressure. And it's kind of like that story about Brett. Like me and Brett connected really well. He was a D1 Princeton quarterback, so he knows all about pressure. So you could tell he just had that natural confidence to him, and that's actually why I saw him, and then he saw me when we were in the dining room one day, and it was just one of those things where, hey, we're on the same team.
That's so cool, dude. When
Absolutely.
when you first like had your first challenge, was it anything you had originally expected?
No, honestly. And it's funny you say that too. All of us, we kept saying it over and over. It's probably going to be like a dead hang. We're all just going to hang from a pole. The first, 50 to drop, whatever, they're gone. But I had no idea walking into that thing. There was like a long pole going down. There was a huge sandbag tied to that. It was just like blocks tied to the sandbag. And it was crazy, honestly.
Yeah,
And once they explained how we had to do it, it's like, wow, this is going to be intense.
yeah. Nothing what you guys were expecting.
No, definitely not.
Where did you when you got accepted into the show, was there like I'm pretty sure you trained behind the scenes for maybe like multiple different things. Was there anything in particular you trained for that actually was beneficial within the show?
Probably just, general weightlifting and stuff like that, just to build up your strength and stuff before you went into the challenges. But yeah, I was doing all kinds of training. I was like taking basketballs from the half court line and just chucking them as many as I could until I finally got one in. Like just anything crazy that Mr. Beast would think of. It's just one of those things where it's like he might do that. Let's try that.
Dude, that is so freaking funny. When
Yeah.
now when you were going into and now you're into this competition, you did your first challenge, and then you had your second. As the show started to progress, was there ever a moment where you actually thought to yourself, "Man, I actually have a shot at winning this whole thing"? And if there was, when was that moment?
I would probably say when it got down to probably the top 13. That was one of those moments where the 13 people that were there, like I had a close alliance with a lot of those people. I was even the people that I wasn't having a direct alliance with, I was still friends with, and they knew of me. I was a nice, kind guy that I wasn't gonna, mess anybody around. I wasn't gonna like basically stab anybody in the back, so to speak. So it's kind of one of those things where I felt very comfortable at that moment, and I really thought I had a shot at it.
Yeah, dude, it's so surreal too, like how it ended. And I have to say too, I'm not just saying this just because I'm interviewing you, but I have to say I was seriously rooting for you and Tyler. I think honestly it's probably because my aunt started in the military, so I always have a soft spot for, you
Yeah,
know, military, those who serve and whether first responders or military. I have a soft spot for you guys when I seen your guys' stories. So I was always hoping for Tyler because he was in the Air Force. And
yep,
then I was hoping for you because you were in the Navy, and the way it
absolutely,
ended was just it was like no other way, it could have ended. Like it was I'm glad it was you two in the finalist.
absolutely.
When you were going through this entire show and this entire journey, all the way up to all the way up to the ending moments of the show, in particular, I want to talk about the moment when the cash prize went up to $1 million and you were like, man, you were talking to Brett, I believe it was. It was you, Brett, and Tyler. It was you three. And you were like, man, I wonder what's the number going to go up to, And it stopped at 500,000 for like a few seconds. Was there ever a moment where you maybe had pressed the button, but Brett beat you to it?
No, actually, it wasn't. It's kind of funny too, like the way that the the whole editing process is.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like it's very intense. Like we're all like, oh, who's gonna push the button? Who's gonna push the button? Me, Brett, Tyler.
Yeah.
But really, behind the scenes, we're actually really talking to each other. Like Tyler's saying, "Hey, I feel like I got a shot at this 5 million. I'm gonna go for the 5 million." I said the same thing. I said, "Hey, I know I feel like I got a shot at 5 million too." And then Brett was kind of like, "Hey, I feel like this is my moment. I think I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Let's just see how high it goes up to." So we already had like it all mapped out, planned out, and it was kind of funny the way that they edited it. Of course, they got to build like the suspense, the drama, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But behind the scenes, it really wasn't. It was like three gentlemen just sitting there talking, like, "Hey, you gonna take it? No, I'm not gonna take it. You gonna take it? No, I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna take it. Okay, yeah, sounds great."
During that time when you guys were like conversating, did you guys ever, start talking about, man, what am I going like what you guys are going to do with the 5 million?
At that point, we didn't really discuss it because it was kind of one of those things where, yeah, we both had a shot at
Yeah.
the 5 million, but it was kind of like it's still 50-50. Who knows who's actually gonna walk away with it? And honestly, like my reaction to Tyler winning was actually genuine. If anybody else could have won it other than me, I'm so glad that it was Tyler. He's a great guy, family guy, military. And honestly, I talk to him all the time still. I love him like a brother. I love Brett like a brother. So everything is I'm happy that he won.
That's awesome, man. And I can tell it comes from such genuine genuineness,
Absolutely.
like you can just tell it's genuine, especially in the show. Like, dude, you seriously, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, you're a man of faith, but you really are rooted you're like a prime example of what it means to be a man of integrity. Like throughout
I
the
appreciate it.
show, there's people in the show, having their own hidden agenda. I mean, the $5 million on the prize, it's understandable. People are going to be manipulative and trying to win the cash prize, but you literally stayed rooted in integrity, regardless of the stakes at hand, and you did not pull away or change your moral principles or your character whatsoever. And that right there really showed your character.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's all everything is because of the Lord, honestly. It's just one of those things where I always want to do everything to not disappoint him, to please him, to just be faithful to him always because he's always been faithful to me. And I always just look at that and I always know that I'm just happy and grateful. Just like I said, just to be here today. It could have been a lot different. So I always give God all the glory. I always would just want to inspire and show his amazing light to the world and just lead as many people as I can back to Jesus because he's the most important thing in this world.
Yeah. It's so, so true. There's no greater form of love than to develop that connection with a higher power. And, for me, it's Jesus as well. And,
Absolutely.
to develop that connection, there's something profound that takes form, you know. And was there
Absolutely.
anything, if there was, I don't know if you would be comfortable sharing it, but was there ever a conversation that took place between you and Tyler after he had won that maybe you would like to share within today's episode?
Yeah, so a lot of people are asking me that. Did he give you any money? Or did you guys split it? And I keep saying the same thing because it's the truth. So according to federal law, any type of game show, contestant show where people are competing against each other, it has to be played to the exact rules that it's played to. There can't be any type of, backdoor. Hey, I'm going to share the money with you. If you win, you share it with me. So actually goes against the federal law. So unfortunately, like we couldn't share the money even if we wanted to. So it's one of
Yeah.
those things.
Was there ever like a conversation that took place, not in the context of money, but was there ever a conversation where you guys just had like maybe a man-to-man, heart-to-heart conversation, like, man, this was a great competition. I'm glad it was you. Was there ever like a conversation like that that kind of took place behind the scenes off camera?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It happened on camera, obviously. And then back at the hotel, we had the same conversation. We hugged each other. We said, "Hey, I'm so glad it was you that won." He showed genuine empathy back to me because obviously, the tables are different.
Yeah.
And I appreciated him for that. It was one of those things where, yeah, I was very grateful.
I want to lead into your book now, talking about your book. When did you like first begin writing your book? Was it before you left to the airport? Like, when did you start writing the book?
So that's the crazy thing. So when I got back from Beast Games, I was like, probably a couple weeks after I got back, laying in bed one morning. and I really heard, the Lord just put in my spirit, write a book. And at first, I'm kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
didn't really understand it at first. But once I started writing and stuff like that, and just getting everything on paper and just really reflecting on everything that I went through, all the emotion, everything like that, it honestly helped me just to go through everything and be okay with everything. And then honestly, just build my faith so much stronger than what it was.
Yeah. From one writer to another, was there ever a moment when you were writing about your story? I haven't finished it yet. Currently on chapter 8. And was there ever a moment that maybe was a little bit hard to revisit while you were sharing your story?
Yeah, some of the chapters were a little more difficult than others. Reliving some of those moments, it kind of brings back some of those emotions, just like I said. So it's kind of in a good way. So, you relive those emotions, you see what you went through, you understand why you went through it, and then you kind of go through the mourning process. Of, okay, it happened, but I can't do anything to change it. All I can do is push forward, knowing that God has bigger plans for me.
Yeah. So you began writing your book not during the show, but after you had already left Beast Games, after the show was already recorded.
Correct. So basically, it was like a 5 month process. I think by the time I got everything edited, formatted, everything like that. It's just, I mean, the book writing process is not a
Yeah.
not a short thing. It takes
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, definitely. I know mine, little did I know I was writing a book, I was just journaling my thoughts, and the next thing you know, I had material right there in front of me. When
That's awesome.
when it came to publishing your book, has this journey been anything you have expected? Like you said, the good Lord gave you this sense of vocation to, write this book, right? Has it been anything you had upon releasing your book? What I'm trying to say is, has it been anything you expected after you released your book? Like from the support, the compliments, maybe the opportunities that came about because of it?
Truthfully, I didn't. I wrote the book for myself
Mhm.
to reestablish my faith and stuff like that, and go through all those emotions and reflect on it. And then when I published it, it was just one of those things where I got so much like support from people just sending me messages. Hey, you play the game so fair. You play with integrity. We're so proud of you. And it was just, I never expected any of it. I was just thought it would, the last episode would air. They would see that I lost. They might buy my book. They might not buy my book. But the overwhelming support that I received from everybody is just like, I'm like, my heart is really touched from all of it. Honestly, it's just been so amazing. It's
Yeah,
opened up so many doors with so many different people that I would have never expected any of this. Like people that I don't know or didn't know, I should say, that reached out to me and just have opened up so many doors, and I'm just like so grateful for it. It's just like one of those things where, just like I said, we go through life, we want things to go a certain way,
yeah,
and they don't. And it's because God has a bigger plan and a better path the other way. And I've come to realize that um, this time, like obviously other trials and tribulations in my life, you reflect back on those and you understand like why they happen. But this one was just one of those ones where I really feel like I have a purpose and a calling to go out and inspire people, to help them with their faith, to help them with integrity, character, help them in their fatherhood, just overall just being a genuine person, so to speak.
yeah. What is something you really hope transpires, upon releasing your book?
I hope that I just bring as many people as I can to Jesus. Honestly, that's my purpose now. That's my calling, is just to inspire people and bring people to the Lord and shine his amazing light to show how great he is, how amazing he is, how much he loves everybody. And that's what I'm here to do now.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. Like for me, when I'm writing the book, it wasn't all about, I can care less about the dollar figure. Yeah, it's good, because you can do many things with it. But like you said, it's all about purpose. It's all about
Absolutely.
making an impact and to as many people as you possibly can. I'm really curious when it comes, from one author to another. You wrote this book and then now you are getting into public speaking, right? what has what has that moment been like for you? Like you can reflect, like only you know what you've been through. Only you know what you had to go through and endure through all the way up to this very moment. What has this moment been like for you to know how far you have come?
Yeah, that's a great question to be honest with you, and it's a question nobody's asked yet, and I'm I'm kind of surprised they didn't. But so me personally, I used to be terrified of public speaking, like terrified to the point where I'm sweating, I'm just like clamming up, like just shaking. I hated public speaking more than anything. Being in front of a camera, I didn't like that at all either. And just being on the show, and I even said on the show too, I'm like, if it wasn't for my wife and my kids, I wouldn't be here right now. And that was the truth, and my wife can vouch for me on that. She
Yeah,
knows it. Um, but now it's like I get in front of a camera and I'm perfectly fine. I'm comfortable doing it. I get in front of people to speak. I'm perfectly fine and comfortable doing that. And it's all because of God. It's all because of His strength. I know that He's with me every time that I'm going to speak to somebody or talk to somebody. So it's just that reassurance and that confidence that I have, knowing that God is with me, is just I know I can do everything now.
yeah. What helped you develop that sense of confidence?
I would say being on Beast games, honestly, it's like at first I don't want to be in front of the cameras. I tried to avoid the cameras as much as possible. Me and Brett were just kind of running away from the
Yeah.
cameras. But after like, a week or two, the cameras are on 24/7. So by that point, you don't even realize the cameras are there. You're just talking, you're just being yourself. And it's just one of those things where you naturally just get used to being in front of a camera. And
Yeah.
it's amazing, honestly. It really is.
Yeah. That is awesome. How do you like we're getting towards the end of the episode here. How do you know what to speak about when you're doing these speaking opportunities? Like
Absolutely.
like where do
So
you begin? Because there's so much beneath your story.
absolutely. So honestly, like these podcasts, interviews, any of this stuff, like public speaking, honestly, it's just whatever God puts in my spirit is what I'm gonna say. And everything is the truth. Everything is genuine. So I know that I have nothing to worry about because I'm not telling lies. I'm not saying anything that's not true. I know God is with me the entire time, every time I'm saying something. So it's just one of those things like I really don't even prepare for these anymore. I just come in, I just say, hey, let's go, Yeah. And whatever comes out of my mouth now is just hey, it's what the Lord wants me to say.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Like your story is powerful. I love it.
I
Again, I'm
appreciate
so
it.
I'm so glad you're doing this with me. When
Definitely.
what is Now I wanna talk about your parents really quick before we fully close out today's episode as we're gearing towards the end here. What is something if your parents are listening to this episode? I know I asked you this question with for your wife and your three sons. If your parents happen to watch this episode, what is something you want them to remember in some form of a gratitude message?
Absolutely. So for my mom and dad, I would just tell them that I love them so much. I hope that I've made them proud in this life. I hope that they understand that I love them with all my heart unconditionally. They were amazing parents, truly amazing parents. They did everything they could to make a life for me and my brother. Even when they didn't have the resources, the finances, stuff like that, they worked really hard to make a good life for me and my brother. And I'm truly, 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 truly so grateful for that. So I love you so much, mom and dad. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are amazing parents. And I hope that you guys are proud of me. And the most important thing, obviously, is keep following Jesus, keep believing in Jesus, and know that He is the way, the truth, and the light.
Beautiful. I wanted to do something a little bit different with you because you're deeply rooted in faith. The reason why the purpose of my intention of me asking these questions is because although, yeah, like our actions can express our love for, these people that are close to us, but how often do we really get to express, that kind of love? So I wanted to do something a little bit different and special with you. You're a very unique, special guy.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And actually, it
Yeah,
was really good to open up like this. And if they ever watch this, I hope they do.
Yeah.
My wife obviously will watch it. My parents, I'm gonna obviously send it to them. Hopefully they can watch it too. That'd be good.
Yeah. What is something you are most proud of yourself?
Um, I think just my faith in Jesus. Honestly, that's the most important thing in my life, and I think that's something that even though we go through all the trials, tribulations, and everything, as long as you can keep your faith in Jesus, knowing that everything happens according to His plan, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. I love it. Dude, this is awesome.
I
No,
appreciate it, brother.
The, the
Absolutely.
the last thing I want to ask you before we get into the rapid fire questions is now you I don't know if you did speaking engagements prior to or if it transpired after, but you ended up getting an opportunity to go to Mar-a-Lago. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, that was just something did not expect it at all. An amazing gentleman named Bo Loden reached out to me and was texting me and stuff like that during the episodes and stuff. And then he just invited me to Mar-a-Lago. And then I got to meet his amazing mother, Dr. Gina. Has a heart of gold. She's just so amazing. She has her own books also that she's written. She has her own talk show, and she invited me on her talk show to do a little segment about faith, which was a truly, truly a blessing. I couldn't even believe it. And then I got to meet Bo's dad, John Loden, and he's just one of those guys that's just like you could hang out with him for hours and not even realize it's hours past. He's just funny. He's just genuine. He's fun to be around.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things that I truly was blown away that I even got the invite to go there. And then to go there, finally, it was just like, I can't believe this is real.
Dude, that is so so cool. I know I seen your pictures and everything. I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? To receive an opportunity like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was all God because I never thought I'd make it to Mar-a-Lago. And it's kind of funny too that so we don't live that far from West Palmer in Tampa, and every once in a while we go over to that side on the East Coast.
Yeah,
So anytime we would go to West Palmer or anything, we would actually go and drive by Mar-a-Lago. So my wife said, "Yeah, you see, you were bringing it to life every time you were driving by it, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden you get invited to go there." I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess that's true."
That's so cool. Your subconscious was like slowly manifesting it.
Absolutely, it's crazy.
Dude, that is awesome. What is one great experience that you can truly say, if I mean, I honestly doubt Mr. Beast is going to watch this episode. He's a very busy guy. But if Mr.
He's
Beast
very
ever
busy.
happens to watch this, it's not impossible, anything's possible. If he was watching this, what is something you really want him to know, whether it's a gratitude message or anything you want to share with him because of the opportunities his show has brought to you?
Absolutely. So I even said this at the end when I got eliminated. They didn't show like the behind the scenes and stuff like that, but I told Jimmy how grateful I was for the amazing opportunity to be on his show. This has opened up so many doors that I never expected. And I'm so grateful for all these doors. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm so grateful that he put this show together. Him, Klitz, Tyler, like those all great people that built this show. And I'm just so grateful for Jimmy. Honestly, he's just a great guy. He's very genuine. He's down to earth. And I would just honestly say I hope he believes in Jesus. I hope he turns to Jesus if he doesn't believe in Jesus. And that's the message I would give him.
Yeah, I love it, dude. This is an incredible interview. I've been trying something a little bit different with the guest to come, and I really like how how I ended up changing up the episodes. The last question I have for you before we get into the rapid fire questions is now if what is a message you want future you? I want you to say a message for your future year. Future you. You have your book going on. I am going to manifest that you become a number one New York Times bestselling author because you do that. Not only are you like selling copies, again, it's not about the number, at least for me, it's not, but it's
Absolutely.
about the impact. If you become a number one New York Times bestselling author or bestselling author in general, you are making a grand impact. Now, I want to manifest that for you. What is a message for future you?
That's a great question. And I'm manifesting the same for you.
I
I got your
appreciate
book
it.
also. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be exciting. I can already see it's going to be very motivational, very inspiring.
Thank you, brother.
Um, Absolutely. And the message I would give to myself is, no matter what, just trust God's process. That is the most important thing. Always have faith in God. Always trust His timing, and always trust that He's working so many things behind the scenes that I'm shocked. Sometimes these people reach out to me. I'm just like, wow, like this is only God that could have done some of this stuff. It's just
Yeah,
insane.
that's awesome. I love how you mentioned that because there's always your plan and there's God's plan. And I always found out that regardless of what I go through and how much I may not like what it is I'm going through, depending on the severity of it, God's plan is always better than the one I had prior to.
Absolutely.
You
Can't
know?
agree more with you.
Now, now I want to get into the rapid fire questions. Okay, let me know when
Yep.
you're ready. You ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Okay. First thing that came to your mind when you heard you are in Beast Games.
Thank the Lord. First thing,
One word your family would use to describe you.
integrity,
If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
faith, integrity, love.
What motivates you more, proving people wrong or proving yourself right?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I
good
guess
thinking.
um proving myself right, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the best of the two negatives.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Trust God in all things.
One daily habit you believe helps you stay mentally strong.
Praying every day.
If your life story had a title, what would it be?
Faith, integrity, and the true definition of winning.
I love it, brother. Please let everybody know where they can find you, link your socials, any projects you're working on, anything and everything you want the audience to know. Feel free to mention it.
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, all the other social media, Facebook, Cory.Sims191. Also, a shout out to my 3 boys. They got their own channel also now. So it's called Bear Bros. And they read a lot of Bible scripture and stuff like that my wife teaches them every day. And it's great. It's great. So go follow them also.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to check out their page.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to give them a follow as well. Now, for the audience listening at home, please let us know within the comments, where did you feel less alone within today's episode? This is Become the Victor, where we turn trials into triumph. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, remember, grow through what you go through. And again, we have Cory Sims, Mr. Beast Games Player 191. It has been an honor having you, brother.
It was an honor to be on your show. I'm so grateful, so blessed. Thank you so much.